Hello everyone. Welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Peter. Have you ever felt nervous or unsure when ordering food in an English restaurant? Maybe you've wanted to sound natural, but didn't know what to say. In today's episode, I'll teach you over 150 real-life questions and answers that people actually use when dining out. You'll learn how to ask for a table, order your favorite dish, and handle the bill, all in simple, natural English. By the end, you'll sound confident and relaxed, just like a native speaker. So, stay with me until the end to pick up phrases that will make your next restaurant experience smooth and stress-free. And if you enjoy learning English in a real, practical way, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video so you never miss new lessons and fun speaking tips every week. Hello my friends, welcome back to English Unlocked. I'm Peter, and today I want to share something simple but very helpful. Many learners tell me, Peter, I want to speak English in a restaurant, but I don't know what to say. I understand that feeling. 10 years ago, I was the same. I remember sitting in a small cafe, holding the menu and thinking, oh no, what should I say first? It was hard and I felt shy. But over time, I learned that English for real life is not difficult. It is about learning small, real sentences that people use every day. Today, we will learn how to speak in a restaurant, how to ask for a table, order food, and pay the bill. These are short and easy sentences that help you feel more confident. You can listen, repeat, and speak with me. Don't worry about grammar too much. Just listen and copy the sounds. That's how I learned to think and speak faster. So, if you want to sound natural when you eat out or travel abroad, stay with me in this episode. I promise, by the end, you will feel more ready to use English in real life. Let's begin our first part, arriving at the restaurant. Are you ready? Let's go together. When you first arrive at a restaurant, sometimes you don't know what to say. You look around, maybe feel a little shy, and think, what do I say to the waiter? I remember that feeling very well. The first time I went to a restaurant in another country, I was so nervous. I didn't want to make a mistake. But I learned that it's okay. People are kind, and simple English is enough. You can start with small sentences like, do you have a table for two? Or, can I sit by the window? Easy, right? You don't need long sentences. Just short, clear ones. That's how real people speak. If you don't understand something, you can ask again. You can say, sorry, or can you say that again, please? It's not a problem. Even native speakers do that sometimes. When you sit down, you can smile and say, can I see the menu, please? This one sentence helps a lot. It makes you sound polite and confident. And believe me, when you smile, people want to help you. So, next time you go to a restaurant, don't worry. Just use these small sentences and speak slowly. You will feel proud when you order your own food in English. Now that we have our seat and the menu, let's move to the next part, ordering food. Then I found something new. Speaking with myself in English. Yes, it sounds funny, but it really worked. Every morning, I talk to myself about my day. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I drink coffee, simple words, but they made me feel more confident. I started to think in English, not just translate from my language. It was strange at first, but slowly my brain got used to it. Sometimes I made mistakes and laughed at myself. But that's okay. It means I was learning. Later, I began to record my voice on my phone. When I listened again, I heard my own errors. Like, oh no, I said he go instead of he goes. It was funny but also useful. Hearing my voice helped me fix small things and sound more natural. Then I joined an online speaking group. We talked about simple things: food, travel, family. At first, I was shy, my heart beat fast before speaking. But everyone was kind and patient. Little by little, I stopped being afraid. I learned that mistakes are not bad. Silence is worse. Now, when I speak, I don't think too much. I just enjoy the talk. It feels like breathing, natural, not forced. And you know what? That's when I realized learning English is not just about grammar. It's about confidence and finding your own voice. After I felt more confident speaking, I wanted to make my English sound more natural. So I started watching movies and short videos in English. At first, I didn't understand much, only a few words here and there. But I didn't give up. I watched the same video many times, and slowly, my ears began to catch more words. I learned how real people speak, not just from books. Sometimes I watched cartoons, because the voices were clear and easy to follow. Other times, I watched vloggers talking about daily life. They spoke fast, but I paused and repeated after them. I said the same sentences again and again until I could say them smoothly. It was fun, like acting in a movie. I also learned many new phrases this way. For example, I didn't just learn "I'm fine." I learned to say, "I'm doing great," or "not bad." Those small things made me sound more natural, more like a real speaker. Music helped too. I listened to English songs and tried to sing along. It made me feel happy, even when I didn't understand every word. Sometimes, one song stayed in my head all day, and that's how I remembered new words without effort. It felt amazing to realize that English was not only a subject, it was part of my life now. Every song, every movie, every small moment helped me get closer to fluency. After I started watching movies and listening to songs, I realized one big problem. I could understand more, but I still couldn't remember new words for long. I would learn a new word today and forget it tomorrow. It made me feel so frustrated. So, I decided to change my way of learning vocabulary. Instead of just memorizing long word lists, I began to learn words inside real sentences. For example, instead of only learning the word hungry, I learned the sentence, "I'm hungry, let's eat." That made it easier to remember because I could imagine the situation. I also started to write short stories using new words, sometimes just 2 or 3 sentences a day. It wasn't perfect, but it helped a lot. Another thing that worked well was using sticky notes. I wrote words on small papers and put them around my room, on the mirror, fridge, and desk. Every day, I would see those words again and again. Soon, they became part of my memory without much effort. And you know what? I also talked to myself in English. When I was alone, I described what I was doing. I'm making coffee. I'm going to work. I'm tired but happy. It felt a little funny at first, but it really improved my memory and speaking confidence. Slowly, English stopped feeling like something I studied. It became something I used. And that's when my progress became faster and honestly, much more fun. When I started to feel more comfortable with words, I knew it was time to practice speaking with real people. At first, I was scared. My heart would beat fast every time I tried to talk to a foreigner. I worried they would not understand me. But one day I told myself, Peter, if you don't speak, you will never improve. So I started small. I joined a small online group for English learners. We met once a week and talked about simple things like food, movies, and travel. Sometimes I made mistakes, actually a lot of mistakes, but no one laughed. They were kind, and we helped each other. It made me realize that mistakes are not bad. They are a sign that you are learning. Then I started talking to myself in English every day. When I cooked, I said, I'm cutting the vegetables. When I walked, I said, it's a beautiful day. These small things built my confidence little by little. After that, I downloaded a language exchange app. I met a girl from Canada who wanted to learn my language. We talked for 10 minutes in English and 10 minutes in my language. It was so much fun, and I learned many real-life phrases that books never teach. The more I spoke, the less I translated in my head. I began to think in English, not word by word, but in ideas. And that was a big turning point. That's when I truly felt, yes, I am becoming an English speaker. After I started speaking more, I noticed another big problem. I forgot what I learned very fast. I would learn 10 new words today, and 3 days later, I could only remember 2. That made me feel really sad. So I began to think, how can I make English stay longer in my mind? Then I found something that changed everything. Review, but in a fun way. I didn't just read my notes again and again. I started to use what I learned in daily life. If I learned the word excited, I would say, I'm excited for dinner, or I'm excited to watch a movie. It made the word real, not just a word from a book. I also used a small notebook, my English memory book. Every night before bed, I wrote down 3 new words and 1 sentence for each. It took only 10 minutes, but it helped so much. Sometimes I drew a small picture next to the word, just for fun. And one more thing, I reviewed on different days. For example, I checked the words after 1 day, then 3 days, then 1 week. It was amazing how much more I could remember this way. I realized that learning English is not about studying hard once, but coming back many times, a little every day. It's like watering a small plant. You can't pour a lot of water at once, but if you give it a little every day, it grows strong. And that's exactly how your English memory grows too. After I learned how to remember words better, I wanted to make my English sound more natural. I didn't just want to know words, I wanted to feel the language. So I started to listen more carefully to how native speakers talk. Not only what they say, but how they say it. I watched short videos and repeated after them. At first, I sounded strange even to myself. But I didn't give up. I tried to copy their tone, rhythm, and emotion. It felt like music. English has its own sound, its own melody. Sometimes I would pause a video, repeat one sentence many times, and record myself. Then I listened again and compared. It was funny but also very helpful. Slowly, I began to sound more natural, not like a robot reading from a book. I also learned small phrases that people use every day. Things like, "You know what I mean?" or "That's so cool." These little expressions made my English feel alive. They helped me connect with people better. And one more thing, I learned to use my face and body when speaking. English is not only about words, it's about feeling. When I smiled or moved my hands while talking, my words came out easier. It felt more real, more human. That's when I realized, speaking English is not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about communication. It's about sharing your story in a way that others can feel it too. After my English started to sound more natural, I faced another problem. I sometimes lost motivation. Some days I felt strong and excited to learn. But other days I felt tired and thought, why is English so hard? It's funny, right? Even after many years, I still had those moments. One day I asked myself, why am I learning English? The answer changed everything. I wasn't learning it for exams or to impress people. I was learning it to connect, to talk to people, to travel, to understand stories from other parts of the world. When I remembered that, my heart felt light again. So I made a small plan to keep my energy. I stopped studying for hours and started learning just 15 minutes a day, but every day. I watched one short video, listened to one short story, or learned one phrase that I liked. Small steps, but consistent ones. I also celebrated small wins. When I understood a movie scene without subtitles, I smiled. When I talked with a foreigner, even for 1 minute, I felt proud. Because learning English is not a race, it's a journey. And on this journey, you will fall sometimes, but that's okay. Each time you stand up again, your English grows stronger. That's what I learned after many years. Motivation doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from enjoying every small step you take. After learning to keep my motivation, I understood something very important. English is not just a subject. It's part of my life now. It's in the songs I listen to, the movies I watch, and the people I meet. It's a key that opens new doors every day. I started to use English in small but real ways. When I read the news, I read one short article in English. When I searched online, I tried using English words. Even when I wrote my to-do list, I wrote it in English. It became part of my daily routine, just like brushing my teeth. Sometimes I still make mistakes, and that's okay. Now I laugh when I make them, because each mistake is proof that I'm learning. English doesn't have to be perfect. It just needs to be real. And the more I used English in daily life, the less I felt afraid. I started to dream in English. I started to think in English. That's when I realized I didn't just learn a language. I built a new part of myself. So if you are listening now, I want you to remember this. Learning English is not about speed, grammar, or big words. It's about using it every day in small, simple ways. Do that, and one day you'll look back and say, "Wow, I can really speak English now." And trust me, that moment feels amazing. So, my friends, after 10 years on this journey, I can tell you 2 simple tips that truly changed everything for me. First, use English every day in small ways. Even 1 minute counts. Second, stop worrying about mistakes. They are your best teachers. If you found this story helpful, don't forget to subscribe to English Unlocked for more real lessons and stories like this. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, your English journey is just beginning. See you in the next episode.